Hey everyone, Kathy and Adam, the vegan preppers here to sort of talk about New Year's goals. And, we just started 2021. And so, what are we looking forward to in the new year and the things that we would like to accomplish? And, yeah, kind of where we are planning to go. Obviously, things may change, but for now, this is kind of the direction we're heading. So, we thought you'd bring you along with us on that. So, I feel like we should start with this guy.
Okay.
Because I always talk. So,
Yeah.
I want you to talk.
I talk all the time. I'm like a regular chatterbox,
He's the one that talks the most in our relationship. Actually, sometimes you do.
Occasionally.
Every now and then. It's like he saves it.
And one day you talked for 8 hours straight.
I'm just like, dude, I really literally, I can't process anymore.
Stop.
Make it stop. I just kiss him.
Works. So yeah, goals for me this year. Working on starting a new business, becoming a blacksmith, which I'm rather enjoying.
I am too.
So yeah, just kind of getting started out, creating some pieces that I can sell and getting my skills built up and experimenting with stuff. So yeah, I'd like to have something kind of solid by this time next year. I don't think it will be supporting the family yet, but hopefully it will be established and kind of be moving in the right direction. So I made my first knife. It's just a piece of rebar, so it's not going to be the best knife ever, but Kathy likes it, so she'll steal it at some point.
It's mine.
And, so it was just kind of an exercise in shaping a blade, and I don't really have intentions of becoming a knife maker specifically, but I do like knives, so really I want to make knives so that I can make my own knives, because everybody else's knives aren't specifically designed for my hand. So but yeah, at any rate, that was fun, and I just wanted to try to make one. So now I'm in the process of making another one that will be higher quality. But, and then just my last experimental thing, I just made a heavy duty wall hook, just trying out some different techniques and playing with some stuff. So,
yeah. Thinking something like that could replace our coat rack.
Yeah.
Like we could do like 5 of those on the wall or something. That'd be cool.
Fun.
Be neat.
So yeah, that's kind of my big focus right now. I'm also trying to heal up some injuries from, I guess, overdoing it. Knees still bothering me from the marathon, and kind of getting worked through that, and a couple of other things that are just bothering me as I'm starting to work out upper body stuff, which has basically been neglected for like 40 years. Most all of my intense exercise has been leg oriented. So,
right. Marathon training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't worked out really hard upper body since, I don't know, 13 or 14 years ago.
I don't know. Yeah, there was. So is that when it was? When you kind of got stacked?
Mm-hmm. Elliot was a baby. Yeah. So
okay. All right.
13 and a half years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just kind of wanting to get my health real solid, get all my aches and pains figured out, get any kind of injuries healed up, so I can be better and better every day. And
well, you're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
So you're just on a new journey, because you were having so many issues when you started running.
Yep.
And kind of gradually worked those out too.
Yep.
So you've worked out lower body issues. Now you're going to work out upper body issues, and it'll all be amazing.
It's just a puzzle.
Yeah.
Figuring out which anatomical defect I'm working through.
Yeah.
So I was out for a trail run this morning.
Yes, this morning.
It's been a long day, I guess. Seems like yesterday. I don't know. It's been a good day.
Poor thing. I was like, you need to sleep or something.
Sage. But yeah, I was out for a trail run this morning, and I got the idea that I wanted to do a trail race at the end of the year in sandals, because I've been working through the popular terminology is rewilding, I guess, my feet.
Is that what they call it, or is that what Tony Riddle calls it?
I think he might have started it.
Okay.
It's growing. It's catching on. So I've spent pretty much every waking hour for the last 40 years in shoes, supportive shoes, and my feet have suffered. So it's funny, the common idea is that supportive shoes are good for you, but they really compromise the strength and flexibility and mobility of your feet. So me being a constant shoe wearer, literally, 10 or 15 minutes a day was that I was awake, was out of shoes. So
yeah, really.
Yeah, I'd have my work boots on from the time I got up till the time I went to bed. And it was always like, I just like having shoes on. And
I hate shoes. Sorry.
So
you continue.
For me, I wore shoes so much because if I didn't wear shoes, the floor hurts my feet, because my feet are so used to being in shoes that they don't have any padding on them. I hurt my foot when I first started running, and the doctor told me I just have no padding on the bottom of my feet at all. So he's like, you shouldn't wear minimal shoes. You got to wear big padded shoes. And I was like, well, I think that might be what caused the problem. So it's basically a negative adaptation. My feet didn't need padding, so they got rid of it. So I'm told that if I go barefoot, it will grow back. So my feet will get tougher and stronger and more flexible. So that's what I'm doing. And, I always have to have something that's hard that I want to do. So a moderately long trail race in sandals sounds like one of those things. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And you still think probably Earth Runners?
Probably.
With sandals? Yeah.
Unless I find something better.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on your foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I think the Earth Runners are the thing. They're like minimal sandals. That was my Christmas present from Adam this year, was a pair of Earth Runners. I've been loving them because I live barefoot. I don't like shoes at all. So these things are great, and it kind of gets to the point where you don't even feel like you have shoes on, and that's what I love. And yeah, so I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah, so I want my body to be good for any eventuality. So
right.
Don't want to have a bunch of
right
issues. So if I can do something to make my whole platform better and stronger and more stable, then that seems like a good thing to do.
Well, building it, literally from the ground up.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and that's like the foot stuff, that's the source of so many, the knee, the hip, the back injuries, all sorts of things, spine misalignments, and so much of it can be traced back to the fact that our feet, which are supposed to be naturally open and space between our toes and flexible, toes are supposed to be free to stabilize us, and we take them, they're very similar to our hands, actually. I think Tony Riddle was talking about it, and you force your foot to basically do this in a shoe. And then it's just trying to think like the functionality of your hands and how decreased that is in this format. And we do the same thing to our feet. And then it's like, oh, now you have a pain in your foot, so we need to do even more supports and even more, like now we have to push your arch all the way up to here. So now your foot is not just like this, it's like this. And now you're just like, I'm trying to walk, it's just crazy. So yeah, long-term health benefits for the entire body structure in our foot health. So I'm totally with Canadian Prepper. He says, prepping is the number one thing, has to be our body, so yeah. I agree. Do everything that we can. So, all right. So I guess is it me now?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So for me, I guess I will be continuing practice I began in 2020, following the moon cycles and doing self care. For me, it's like it's awesome to have that kind of cosmic schedule. So it is basically, it works out to about every 2 weeks. I take time for myself and it's just scheduled, right? And then I put up herbal preparations. Our apothecary has grown by leaps and bounds over this last year because I was constantly putting stuff up. And I've kind of talked about it before. I might talk about it even more this year. It has just become a practice that is so precious to me, especially through 2020 and some of the shenanigans and what seemed like instability. And it kind of, I don't know, not to get too philosophical, but I just am. That's how I am. I try to rein it in because I know a lot of people don't care. And that's fine. They don't have to care. But even just that visual, right, of the moon, like it gets dark, but it's still there. It's just our perspective changes based upon the positioning of the earth and stuff. And so I think of that like truths in our lives, the goodness of life, the benevolence of God, and like things look like it's not like that, but it actually still is, no matter how it looks. And so it's kind of like a really powerful thing that I've taken like from this year and kind of going into my new year. So I'm excited to continue that. And then also, of course, along with Adam, health stuff. For me, it isn't injury related stuff. It's continuing weight loss and dialing in my eating. I am beginning to figure some things out, and it's really exciting. Number one being I need a lot of vegetables and raw vegetables, especially like a cucumber. And it's like my jam. Like I feel so good when I eat like that. And so figuring that out, bringing a lot more of that into my life. Very much focused more on vegetables while still getting good amounts of calories from legumes and grains. So I'm dialing all that in, and I'll probably talk more about that as we move forward. But yeah, continuing to lose weight. I am officially 60 pounds down from my heaviest weight ever. So I'm continuing moving forward, increasing my stamina as I walk, taking longer and longer walks, and just, really enjoying life and enjoying that. So also keeping in mind that health is absolutely number one. I will go ahead and talk. The second thing is really focusing even more on zero waste living, zero waste lifestyle. Because like last year we've been doing it for quite a while, but or not zero waste, but reducing our waste. And I've talked before, a lot of it started just because we were on a budget and I didn't want to keep buying things. So I wanted the the washable, reusable stuff. So I can't remember the last time we had a paper napkin or a paper towel, that we purchased. We still have paper napkins every now and then because we get Chipotle because we're not perfect, okay? So that's the only paper napkins we might have in the house. And then even that, I only use it for seasoning the cast iron pan, wiping up oil. We don't use it for eating. We use cloth napkins, but so things like that, reusable lunch containers. We don't do Ziplocs in the house. I still have some from 4 or 5 years ago, the last time I bought Ziploc bags, and we just keep washing them and reusing them until they just can't be used anymore. Things like that. So there's still a little bit of it floating around, but for the most part, we do have, pretty good zero waste lifestyle. Again, we are far from perfect. A lot of the choices that we make are because the system doesn't support better choices. And I just wish that there were some options. Anyway, but again, being that my number one priority is health, I had to kind of flow chart that for myself, right? And prioritize it, where because I was stressing out so much every time I used a bag of frozen vegetables. I don't know, it's dumb to get that worried, but it's every time I threw away that plastic bag, I felt so guilty and I'm the biggest fraud talking about zero waste and I'm using a bag of frozen vegetables. But it's like either I have a bag of frozen vegetables or I don't have vegetables for that meal, you know? And that ends up being what it comes down to a lot of times. And for myself, it's like either I turn myself into a slave and spend nothing or spend every waking moment preparing like literally every single thing I eat from absolute scratch, or I have some frozen vegetables. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. You're not chiming in at all. I interrupted you a lot. You're not interrupting me at all.
Sorry.
Why don't you interrupt me? So anyway, I don't know. That's kind of like where I am. So that's where I am kind of moving forward too. Hoping to figure out a lot better solutions. So like, especially now because with the recycling. So I'm super happy that we do have some recycling, but they've sent out the new recycling thing where they're basically not recycling anything anymore.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. It's like only beverage plastic. When was the last time we had freaking beverage plastic in this house? We
I don't know what that means.
We don't have like water bottles. Like we don't do plastic water bottles. Like those don't exist in our house. Like so like nothing, like not like a cup, you know, or like the thing the berries come in. It's like specifically mentions like that's not recyclable anymore. So like, do I never get to have berries again now?
Because berries don't come any other way.
Right. You can maybe
They come in the plastic container.
Maybe occasionally find some at the farmer's market, like a little blue paper thing of strawberries. It's like $10 for like one little, you know. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of like weighing and deciding, but it's kind of that thing where it's like, I need my antioxidants, I need my fruit. And if I literally can't get it any other way, I'm going to buy it in the thing that I can't recycle. And it's like super bums me out, you know, but we have to prioritize the health. We're prioritizing that. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am. It's almost like, yeah, I heard Sage. So we'll probably cut this off pretty soon. But you know, we're prioritizing our health. I guess it's kind of like the argument with the veganism where it's like for the animals, but also for the environment. And it's like weighing that like, ugh. So in this, it's like health or the environment, like, ugh. But number one has to be health for me. So anyway, so yeah, I can't like, it's already hard. Look, it's hard enough to eat healthy. Like, let's get real. Now that the fit guy has left the room, I'm just going to talk just you and me, like the people that like kind of understand, like it's hard enough. Okay. Without being able to use my frozen vegetables. That's enough. I have talked about that long enough. So, end of story. So I might do some cooking videos and I might have some frozen veg in the cooking videos, and it is what it is. But now, hi. Is she not awake?
Not all the way.
She's like cranky. All right. Anyway, she fell asleep in the living room, so we were like, let's go film something. Okay. And then the final thing, thankfully, like the last thing, is food storage. So we've done really well this year putting up food storage, even with shortages. Like we were able to find all kinds of stuff because nobody wants vegan food. So
rice, what?
We were able to really stock up on a lot of stuff. And that's great. But now I'm looking towards my long-term storage and getting set up for actually putting some stuff up, like in Mylar bags, in buckets for like 20 years, you know, like get that storage, not storing 20 years worth of food, storing some food for 20 years so that it just gets there and we don't touch it. And so really starting to get there, but also we are officially now looking to expand our food storage to 1 year of food storage. And I'm not sure that we're ever going to go beyond that. You think we're ever going to go farther than that?
I don't know, if we buy a warehouse maybe to store it all in.
I don't know, because we have 5 people in our family, so
it's a crazy amount of food.
It's insane. But it isn't just that. It's kind of back to that whole conversation of what are you prepping for? What disaster, what scenario are you thinking you're going to need to eat out of your food storage for like 3 or 4 years?
I don't know.
Like, maybe if you live in the boonies, you have literally no one around you, but like we're in the middle of a city. Like, we wouldn't be able to defend or protect this place for an extended amount of time. So I'm thinking 1 year is probably like our outer limit at this point.
Yeah.
With a major focus on fitness, bug out bags, desert survival. Because if like stuff gets insane, also like we wouldn't even be able to get out the city. So, you know, and so until we move and we have our giant plot of land and we have our little off-grid cabin in the boonies somewhere, you know, I don't think we're going to go further than that.
That's our end of year goal. 100 acres in the boonies with a little cabin on it.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone where we are. If we stop filming,
gone.
But yeah, so that's kind of like the goal. But getting better at that and planning that out is definitely, you know, going to be huge planning on my part, especially just figuring out where to store it. So we're currently working kind of solutions, like figuring out like where is it going to go? What are we going to do? So I'm canning a lot more now. As much as I can. Jars are still really scarce. I just put up 7 more quarts of beans today. So I'm kind of working on storage stuff and figuring out a lot of that stuff. I'm phasing out canned beans from the store actually, and just kind of doing our own. With some exception, nothing is ever 100% cut and dry, but you know, that's kind of the goal for now, is to start focusing a lot more on our own putting up and whatnot. So I don't know, but yeah, we might turn this, my gorgeous studio that I love so much, might become the giant food store. Because again, it's like another example, right? The system doesn't support the good choice, right?
Yep.
Because houses used to be built with basements and cold storage and root cellars or whatever, you know, because it used to just be the way that people lived. They put up a lot of food themselves because people used to be self-sufficient and it used to be encouraged.
Yeah. And
now it's like, just go to the grocery store a few times a week, you know, until there's no food in the grocery store. And then,
Yeah, so. and being here in the hot country, garage temperatures get 140 degrees in the garage during the summertime.
So, that's not an exaggeration.
No,
it's Fahrenheit too, of course, obviously.
Yes, otherwise we'd be on fire.
Yeah.
But so we can't store food out there; it would go bad.
Yeah.
So we don't have any option to use garage space for food storage.
Yeah, pretty much our only option is indoor storage for our food. So that's definitely kind of an issue that we face here. It's central Arizona, so it gets really hot. And it's another thing like we've talked about too, and I don't mean to start making this get really long. We actually already did one take that was 40 minutes long, so we're fixing it in this one. You're welcome. Although it was fun. There were some fun clips in that. I might need to pull some stuff out, like the hippie dark side and all that, you know. It's awesome. But anyway, it'll
be the Zack Snyder cut or whatever.
The Bollywood version will be 3 hours long. But yeah, like focusing. So I am canning more, but there's also part of me that's like, oh, I don't know what the canning, because as soon as canned goods get above, I think it's like 90 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I don't have the Celsius numbers written down because I didn't plan on talking about it. For any of our friends overseas or in Canada. But 90, 95 degrees, those things are gone. They're no longer safe. So that's a real like worry for me, for like if we ever lose AC in the summer, the house gets to be 95 like that. Like it's not even, because we did lose AC and it wasn't even the hottest part of the summer.
Nope, it was September.
Yeah, it was like not even that bad, and our house was just like unlivable. I was laying on the tile like to try to get cool, and then eventually the tile got warm too. It was just like,
it was only 3 days we were without AC.
3 days. So it's like, it's insane. So if something like that happened, I would just lose every one of my canned goods, unless I could just pack it up really fast and like take it to somebody's house who had AC or something like that. I don't know. I guess that would be what I have to do, because there's no generator that we could get that would run the AC of our you know, it's not a giant house, but it's not a tiny house either. So
Yeah.
it's a relatively good sized house, and there's no generator that we could get that would run AC.
It's one we could get, but not one that we could afford.
Well, yeah. So anyway, that's kind of like, so thinking, that's why I focus a lot on dehydrated foods, because that's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it could be anything. And so I'm still also focusing very much this year on dehydration. But also the canning is handy for certain things. Just praying and hoping that we do not lose AC at all. So, because yeah, I would lose literally everything. So we might need to come up with a solution for that. But yeah, I think geography, it kind of informs your prepping choices. You can't ever just like watch what other people do and then do that thing, because it always depends on where you are and what your situation is. And so, yep, stuff to think about. So anyway, I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Good to go.
Yeah. Okay. So like, comment, subscribe. Direct your comments to either one of us. One of us will answer you. Whoever you talk to will answer you. And yeah, I guess that's all. So as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the best 2021. I was going to say the best 2021 ever.
It will be.
I hope you have the best year ever. Here we go. Don't be one of those people being all like cursing 2021 before it even starts just because you had a hard time in 2020. Okay? This is why we're
awesome,
we're preppers. You know, we look ahead and we figure stuff out and we set ourselves up for success. So anyway, I guess that's all. All right. See you later for real. Bye.